يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير.
O mankind, indeed we have created you from a male and a female, and we have made you into tribes and clans. Why? In order that you get to know one another. Indeed, the most honorable, the best of you in the sight of the Almighty Lord is the one that has more taqwa. More taqwa. Indeed, Allah is all wise, all aware. You can see the best of us. Who is the best of us? The one that has more taqwa. She could be a lady. He could be a man. So what we should reflect upon is to achieve the best of taqwa. Dear sister, dear mother, dear daughter, we call you Red Rose of Islam. You are not only liberated, respected, dignified in Islam, but you are also a great member, of the great nation of Islam. The greatest nation produced for mankind. No other nation produced women like the nation of Islam. A nation of guidance, leading humanity to righteousness and truth, transforming man from the worship of slaves to the worship of the Lord of slaves. Your ancestors, the female companions, radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, great women of Islam. They are one of the main reasons for this great nation to find its great place among all nations. They were the counterparts of their men, courageous, strong, thoughtful, and they were willing to sacrifice anything and everything in the path of truth. These selfless, noble female creatures were found on the battlefields. Not on the back of the battle, not in the middle, but wallahi in the foremost ranks of the battlefield. In the foremost ranks. And there are many examples of such zeal and determination. In the Battle of Uhud, when only a few devoted fighters remained, because it was getting too critical, too scary, too fierce. So a lot of companions withdrew from the field. Only a few remained in the intense fighting. A lady, a female companion by the name of Ammara, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. She shielded Mohammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, not of her shield, not of her sword, but with her flesh. This is a lady, female companion. She shielded her beloved teacher sallallahu alayhi wasallam with her flesh, and warded off the enemy with her sword. Maybe we cannot even carry that sword today. She held it strongly and warded them off, kept them away from Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Allahu Akbar. She's a female companion, a female. We call them inferior? A'udhu billah. They put us to shame. Wallahi, they put us to shame today if you listen to the history of those female companions. In the battle against Musaylamatul Kadhab, she fought so courageously that she lost an arm and suffered more than a dozen wounds to the body. A female. And killed many of the enemies. Khawla, Juwayriyya, Safiya, Asma, Aisha, Hakim, Hind. Wallahi, all displayed extraordinary valor when they accompanied Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam in his military expeditions. Many of them, female companions, were memorizers of the Quran. How many do we memorize? How much have we memorized? We think we're big shots when we memorize half of Juz' Amma. Oh, I know 15 surah. Any surah has about 2 verses. I know 16 surah. You know, and you try to sort of, be boastful about it. Many of the female companions not memorize only Juz' Amma. They memorize the whole of the Quran. Hafsa bint Umar, Aisha bint Abi Bakr, Salama, Waraka, Hisham, Hind bint Usayd, and many more female companions memorized the whole Quran. As for Aisha and Salama, they were exceptional masters of interpretation and commentary of the Quran. In the Islamic jurisprudence, Aisha's her verdicts could fill several volumes. And she was so well versed in the Islamic inheritance that the most renowned and respected companions, male companions, will come and ask her and consult her and seek advice and counsel from her in the finer points of Sharia. In the finer points. She wasn't a male, she was a female. A learned, courageous, thoughtful, strong lady of Islam. An example from the time she lived to the last second of this earth. And there are many examples of many female Muslims, past and present, that fulfill their obligations towards their Lord. And when you see some girls today, I'm talking about our girls, our daughters, you see on their wall when you go to their homes, actresses and athletes. Actresses and athletes who are nothing but druggos in reality. And they're on their wall, pinned on their wall. Sisters, brothers, let your daughter, let your wife, let your mother, let your sister pin up posters, not on the wall, on their hearts, of Aisha, of Ammara, of Safiya, of Salama, Waraka, and their likes, on their hearts. Meaning, let their lives be their role models. Let it penetrate through their souls and be engraved on their souls. This is the way we should be teaching our sisters. Stories of such people. Allahu Akbar. They're not males, they're females. Out there again, there are the critics. There are people who claim, who say, who fabricate that a Muslim woman is degenerated, disparaged, is abused and accused, oppressed and suppressed, is looked down at, downtrodden, is even considered by the Muslim man as an evil person. A'udhu billah. A woman has received so much attention in Islam that the Almighty Lord revealed a whole surah in the glorious word of His called Surah An-Nisa. I don't see anywhere else Surah Al-Rijal. There's no Surah Al-Rijal in the Quran, but there's Surah An-Nisa. Allahu Akbar. The chapter of woman, specifically relating to her law, her rights, her principles. In Islam, a woman is a mother, a daughter, a wife, a sister that has rights to take and duties to serve. This is why Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam ordered the nation of his to take extreme good care of women and to respect her highly. I don't see anywhere where he says to man, respect the man, but respect the woman and take good care of her. Why? because she is the source of happiness for her husband. And she is a soft, tender, loving mother to her children. This is the reason why the Almighty Lord ordered her, not out of oppression, but out of protection and safety, ordered her to cover herself and thus remain as much as possible in her house. As he says, وَقَرْنَ فِي بِيُوتِكُمْ وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَ تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. And remain in your homes, your protected places, your safeguarded places, your security, and do not display yourself like that of the times of jahiliyyah, of ignorance. What does the tabarruj mean? It means do not display your charm. Do not display your body features. Do not move your body or walk in a show-off way. Do not talk in a soft way in order to entice or tempt man. Tabarruj means every form of beautification displayed by a woman in order to look good to strangers, other than her maharim, in other words. To look good to other than her maharim. That is tabarruj. The question here comes, if she wants to leave her house, can she leave her house? Yes, she can leave her house. But how should she leave her house? You know, Allah Ta'ala is ordering us here, the female servant of His, to remain indoors. And if you leave, do not display yourself like that of the times of ignorance. So what should she do? You know, when we wake up in the morning today, what do we do? When one of us wakes up, male or female, but females are known that they, you know, if you want to go somewhere, you at least tell them half an hour before you go. At least half an hour. Because they need half an hour to get dressed, if not more, and then they're half an hour on the door talking. So make sure you tell them half an hour before this needs to be done. This is the exiting of the home. So as soon as we wake up today, what do? What's the first thing we do? Generally, before the cup of coffee, before reading the newspaper, watching the 6 o'clock news, what do? We go to the cupboard and sometimes take as long as 1 hour to decide what are we going to wear today. What are we going to wear today? You start scratching your hair, don't know what you're going to wear, you look. Make it easy for yourself. Have one abaya, for example, for the men, and have one type of clothes for the ladies. You can never go wrong. But when we open the cupboard, you think of your employer. What is he going to say? What is she going to say? How is he going to react? Is she going to react if we wore this? You think of your friends, your colleagues. You think of your mother and your father. You think of this. You think of that. You think of everyone on the face of this earth, what he or she will react to if we wore this attire, but forgetting the greatest authority. Forgetting the greatest authority, the Almighty, all aware, all seeing, all hearing, all knowing. Before we decide what we are going to wear, stop. A big red sign, stop. Look at the sign and say, what pleases the Master of Masters, the Judge of Judges, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, our fashioner, our designer, our originator, our creator? What pleases him? Not what pleases our employer, our teacher, our colleague, our friend. What pleases him? The Almighty Lord.